So I apologize for the shit lighting and audio and video right now. What you're about to watch was the video that I essentially was expecting to upload. It's not in as good condition as I wanted it to be. I was in the middle of editing it. I found out that earlier today, as of my recording this video, my dad died, which is weird because I saw him earlier. We actually had breakfast together. So, like, I'm kind of not quite believing it, and I'm sure that tomorrow this is gonna, like, actually hit me. Yeah, that's all. That's it. So, I'm either living in the middle of a tragedy or a very dark comedy right now. I'm not sure which. So find out how the rest of my life is in shambles. Watch on for more. I'm sure I'll talk about this later. It just happened that a lot of stuff kind of happened at the same time. And a lot of this was kind of a long time coming and happened like a little while back. I don't have anything else to say. I don't know what you say at this point. I don't know what to say. Fucking camera's shaking. Alright. I hope everything's okay with everyone else. Everything's going to be okay with me and my people. I don't fucking want condolences. I don't want it. I'm not having it. Anyway, here's the video that I originally intended to post. And there will be more. I will be updating, I'm sure, in the next coming week. I will have, I'm sure, some incredible shots on the road at some point. And lots of cute kittens. And, well, Curio at least. Today's been a fucked up day. So, I am moving, and I have a lot of mixed feelings about that. I'm gonna get into what exactly happened, but my money ran out, and you know, I'm moving now. I've lived in or around the LA area for my entire life. Was born here, raised here, and now I have to leave. And I'm going somewhere very far away, where I've never been before. This will be all new to everyone. So yeah, just if things seem different going forward, that's because I'm in a totally different place. And when I say totally different place, I mean a totally different place. I mean, I'm excited, I guess, in a way, but I'm also nervous. I don't really know what's gonna happen. I recognize that I'm lucky because there are some people who, when they run into a situation like what happened to me, don't have a place to go. I might end up out there if I like it, you know. It's like to live there. I don't know. I might be back in a year. I don't know. I have no idea. But this video is just to sort of like explain what's going on because things are gonna be different. So, welcome to my mental breakdown. So really all I'm gonna do is sort of explain what this place has meant to me and what happened and what might happen next. So I'm moving to Austin, me and Curio, because I know someone who lives out there, and she was kind enough to offer me her guest bedroom. It means that I'm leaving a lot of my stuff behind. Most of my furniture is not coming with me. The only things I wanna try and take this maybe, and my desk I'm actually gonna keep at my mom's. That's something that I've had since I was a very small child, and it means a lot to me. I got it when I was a kid, and at the time it seemed massive, and now that I'm an adult, I'm like, this is kind of small for a roll top desk, but I love it. And you know, when I was a kid, I thought that if I had that desk, like, I don't know, I thought it like had some like magical properties that would make me a real writer. You know how kids are dumb. And I was really excited because I actually, like, for Christmas one year or something, got it. And with it, my mom was like, I'm also going to take you to an Office Depot or Staples or something like that. And she'd be like, and I'm going to give you $100 and you can spend it on whatever you want. And that to me was like the best gift ever. I'm sure there are some nerdy people out there who are like me and would have felt the same. But yeah, that desk represents my childhood and my house when I was a kid and my family life before my parents got divorced, and yeah, a lot of things. And it's got a smell, and occasionally, like if I open one of the little drawers or something, I catch a whiff of that smell again, and it does that thing where like it instantly transports you to a different place in a different time, and it gives you that weird feeling. And so yeah, I'm either gonna drive or I'm gonna fly. If I drive, it's a 20-hour drive. If I fly, it's a 3-hour flight. And I'm gonna have Curio with me either way. Apparently you can take a pet as a carry-on, so that's what I would be doing. But in that case, I have to have everything shipped, and having things shipped seems really expensive. So I'm trying to figure out if it's cheaper to just only take things I can fit with. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm actually gonna read off of this to explain sort of the situation that happened to me. It took me a really long time to decide to do this because I didn't want to seem like difficult or something. But hey, here we go. After an interview process, I was offered a new copywriting editing job for a company called Adaptix Imaging. I'm a writer, and my last job was copywriting, so they offered me this position. The position was remote and I would work from home. I did my due diligence, researched the company and the person I corresponded with, and everything checked out, so I accepted the position. I looked up the company, I looked up the person, all of this stuff was on their site, it was all clearly legit. So I was instructed by the HR manager to purchase some home office equipment for the position, a work computer, printer, scanner, software. Okay, so there was it was supposed to be an in-home office setup sort of thing that they were going to have me do since I was working remotely. The company actually is in the UK. So obviously I couldn't commute. Every day for 4 days, the company electronically sent me job training tasks along with checks. The checks were meant to cover the cost of the equipment. So they were sending me really in-depth training tasks that kept my attention for the entire day. It was one of those things where it was I was supposed to be done at about 5, and I was working right up until 5. It was very intensive. And meanwhile, they were sending me these checks. I was instructed by HR to deposit the checks electronically to my Bank of America account and then pass them on to the third party who would then ship me the equipment. And I actually asked about this. I said, why am I doing this? Why can't you do it yourselves? And they said because the shipping people need to know that you are actually a real person, and they wanted to get it from they could get it wholesale if they bought it from these people. So I was supposed to put the checks into my account, pass them to the third party, and then they would ship me the equipment. Curio, can you move please? Curio, come here. Come here. Really? You have to be right there? Oh my goodness, the cat! So at that point, HR told me to send the funds through money orders. Bank of America made these funds available to me, and I utilized them, buying money orders with the Visa debit card provided to me by Bank of America. They let me do all of these steps. They let me deposit the checks, they let me use the money using their debit card. Then Bank of America suddenly rescinded the funds, retroactively stating that they were now putting a hold on the checks after the funds had already been made available and utilized. So they gave me the money, I used the money, and then they took the money away. The money that was now, so now the money wasn't in my account. Hi, Curio. I didn't have it. It was gone. It was gone. It was gone. At this point, the checks were believed to be fraudulent. And in this case, if that is in fact the case, which it seems now that it is, then Bank of America should have safeguarded against the false checks in the beginning. The institution is supposed to protect against fraud, and yet they failed to do just that. That's Bank of America's whole thing, is that they will protect you against fraud. So for my part, I went to the police and filed a report. So a scam artist had been using the HR manager's identity in their ploy. I have, the report. You can get the fucking report. Bank of America, if you end up seeing this, you're welcome to get the report. Contact me, I'll give you the fucking case number. Whoever this person was, found this company and found the HR manager and got all of their information. When I say I checked up on it, I mean I went to various social media platforms to make sure that this person exists. She exists, but someone used her identity. And as a matter of fact, I contacted Adaptix Imaging when this happened and said, hey, just so you know, someone posed as you at your company and offered me a job, and then they took all my money. They forwarded me a response that they had sent to somebody else, and it said another one, which suggests to me that this is not the first time that this has happened. So, that's a problem. I attempted to resolve this by going to the bank in person, where they refused to speak to me about the fraudulent items, telling me I had to call a specific number, and go through the whole rigmarole over the phone. So I spent the day on the phone being transferred from one department to another, and I mean like all day on the phone. At one point being told by a representative that I was an accomplice in a crime. They said that to me because the checks were fraudulent. I went to the police, as I said earlier, and they let me know that for sure I am not. So Bank of America, you are free to ask the police about that. And then at another point, I was told by a supervisor in claims to put me on hold so we could calm down. Those were his actual words. So we could calm down. Super not okay and unprofessional. So I was then transferred to his boss, who I was simply told was Jeff, and I explained everything to him. After explaining everything, Jeff, he was like, wow, this is fucked up, but alright, I'm gonna restore the funds. And he did. He restored the funds on Friday, May 24th, technically after closing time, but I checked my account online and the funds were all there. I woke up the next day, on Saturday, and the funds had been removed again. This was the first day of a 3-day weekend. So, on Tuesday, when they finally opened again, so I didn't have any money for that weekend, that was terrifying. On Tuesday, I called the claims department again, asking if I could speak with Jeff. Here's a fun little tidbit that happened. At first, the representative said that Jeff wouldn't be in that day, but after I asked when he would be available, the representative backtracked and said that Jeff must be from another claims office and that he, in fact, didn't know who that was. So there was lying at some point in there. I'm not sure which the lie was. Then I spoke with his supervisor, who looked at all the information and said Jeff hadn't restored the money to the account and that I must have misunderstood, except that's incorrect. He did restore the money to my account. I explained I checked my balance as soon as he did it, and the funds were there. I asked to speak with her boss, and she began to shout at me, saying I was misunderstanding the situation, and I still insisted that she transfer me to her boss. She said that she would, and I was placed on hold for several minutes. And it started playing their jaunty little, Bank of America tune. And then the music suddenly was interrupted by other music. Still a very jaunty Bank of America tune, but a different song than it was before. And the phone was picked up a couple minutes later by a random representative. And I was back at square one. So I never did manage to navigate back to that supervisor's manager. Here I am, the victim of fraud. I don't have a job. I quit my job that I had before this so that I could take this fake job. And, the bank's taken all my money. So that's what happened. That's the short version of the story. I know it's confusing. A lot happened, and honestly, all of the people who I was even sending the money to, the money orders to, I checked, they all have LinkedIn profiles. So either this person created all of these fake profiles, or they have been using real people's names. I don't think that that's possible, though. I think they must have made the profiles. It's why would you go to this much trouble? Wouldn't it be easier just to get a fucking regular job and not be swindling other people who don't have any money? They clearly also did not do their research on me because they thought that I had more money than I did. I've lived here It would have been 5 years, sorry, in September, I think, if I'm doing the math correctly. And I love it in this house. This house, for me, was a sanctuary, and it was the first place that I lived completely on my own. I didn't have roommates or family, and I'm not saying, you know, that that's a bad thing or that people shouldn't live with those people. But for me, personally, this was something that I really wanted, and I was really proud of myself that I managed to do it. And I managed to do it in Burbank, which was the city that I most wanted to live. And I took this kind of not especially cute space and turned it into something pretty cute. And I got a cat who's very cute. Yes, you. Yes, you. Boop. So this is hard for me, you know? I recognize that this is 100% like the right time to do this. I don't have anything tying me down. So if I'm gonna up and go, now is the time to up and go and try it somewhere else. You know, it doesn't mean that I have to go away forever. Yeah, that's not how this works, but it means I'm going away for a while. I get to try some new things and meet some new people, and this is the worst framing of any video in the history of the world. I apologize. You've been watching my mental breakdown. Here's our zip code. I'm not even on this map, so we're just like where that is. Alright, I was thinking, you know, well, it's not like LA, but it's just as complicated when you're just looking at it like this.